And as promised, we are being joined by State Senator from Mississippi, Chris McDaniel, who is a GOP senatorial candidate. How you doing there, Senator?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thanks for being on, and happy Independence Day to you and all the folks down there in the Magnolia State. Let's kind of set the stages here because you won a primary, but you didn't win it within the correct percentage that you did not have to go to a runoff, so you had to go to the runoff. And in Mississippi, they have an open primary system, but according to law, voting in the respective party primary precludes one from crossing over into a further runoff event, if I'm correct on that.
That's correct. We were successful on June the 3rd. We received more popular votes, of course, than the incumbent, but we couldn't quite get over that 50+1 margin, so because there was a third party in the race. So we moved forward to a runoff on June the 24th, and the way it works is if you participated in the Democratic primary on June the 3rd, you would not be allowed to participate in the Republican runoff on June the 24th. And we're seeing thousands of voters that we believe did just that. They crossed over from the 3rd to the 24th, and which of course makes them ineligible.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, what you're claiming is 4,900 irregularities that you're seeing out there. But there's Austin Barber, who is the senior advisor for the Cochran campaign. And is this gentleman related to the former Mississippi Governor Haley Barber?
Yes, they're all part of the same family.
Oh, okay. Well, plot thickens. But anyhow, so he is claiming that your numbers are all wrong. I mean, what is the basis for him refuting your numbers?
Well, that's just it. They don't know what we've got yet because we haven't filed our challenge yet. So basically, he's just guessing. It's a PR game they're pushing right now. Of course, this is the same Barber family that worked with Cochran to run one of the nastiest campaigns in Mississippi's history, and this is the same family that, of course, turned out more than 40,000 Democrats and encouraged them to cross over and vote in a Republican primary on June the 24th. So they have an awful lot at stake here, and that's one of the reasons he's probably saying that. But as far as hard evidence, I'm not sure that he understands what we have. Now,
it's interesting because as I was reading, I believe that next Monday is when the Mississippi GOP chairman, Joe Nosef, has to, turn in those final results. Do you think that he is going to submit those final results on Monday, which is the deadline, or is he concerned about there may be some nefarious actions here?
Well, either way, our investigation continues, and there's already been 2 different allegations of criminal conduct on the part of Cochran's camp, whether it be the super PAC that was associated with him, people associated with that super PAC, I should say, or others that were associated in his camp. And on top of that, of course, we've got literally thousands and thousands of irregularities in the ballot process. So whether he certifies it or not, we still have the right to inspect the poll books. We still have a right to do our investigation. And likewise, we would still have a right to pursue justice in a court of law.
Now, are you going to be filing a challenge on that sometime soon, or?
Yes, that's pretty likely. Absolutely.
Now, are you getting cooperation from the state GOP down there, or they're pretty much focused on doing what they think they have to do?
No, it's a combination. Some are cooperative, some are not. It just depends on who you talk to and which side of the camp they're on. But what we have found is a handful of counties that haven't been terribly cooperative, depending on where they're located and what they're doing. Many counties, though, have been cooperative. It just depends on the circumstances. But nevertheless, we have been very successful in rooting out many irregularities, and likewise, we still have quite a bit of illegal allegations that are coming forth each day.
Now, when you talk about allegations, I want to go to this sound. Go to cut 5050.
Did you actually deliver some people to the polls on behalf of Salim based on the promise of payment?
Yes.
How many do you think you delivered?
Hundreds.
Hundreds?
Yes.
How did you go about recruiting people? Did you say, hey, if you come and vote, we're going to give you some money? What did you do to get people to go?
They told us, just you go out and just tell them, it's $15 for your trouble if you go in down there and vote for Thad,
And how did you get that message out to people?
Just like they told me to tell them, I know things is hard and times is bad and you need to pay for your gas and stuff, and that's $15 for you if you just go in there and vote for Thad.
So what did you go around the neighborhood talking to people? How did you get that message out to people yourself?
Yes, door to door in different places, and then most of
the impoverished neighborhoods in the house and the sergeants and stuff like that.
And how did people react when you told them this?
They were glad to get $15.
Did you mention about McDaniel possibly being a racist?
Yes, that was their part of their gift back.
And how did they
let the people know the reason why that they didn't want him in?
And so you passed that message that Salim gave you to tell them that McDaniel might be a racist, and they would get some money. Is that correct?
Yes.
And based on those two factors, you think that motivated hundreds of people to go vote?
Thousands.
And thousands.
All over the state of Mississippi.
No, but your personal experience, how many do you think you motivated on those two messages?
Hundreds.
Hundreds. And did Salim pay you so you could pay those people?
Yes.
That was journalism startup gotnews.com, and there was an interview they conducted with a Reverend Stevie Fielder down in Mississippi, down in Mississippi with a scheme that it seems that there was a pay for votes going on down in your race. Now, what is interesting to me is that I've seen this story at Breitbart.com. I've seen it out on Daily Caller. I've written about it on my website, allenbwest.com. But I have not seen this story anywhere out on main national news. And what is interesting, Senator McDaniel, when I go and read a report, it says turnout in majority black counties grew by 43% from the June 3rd Republican primary to the June 24th runoff, while in majority white counties it grew 17%. Hey, is there something very, very wrong going on down in Mississippi?
Yeah, we believe there is, and it's not the race really isn't the issue at all. It's not the issue at all. It's a fight over ideology. It's a fight over principle, and who ultimately controls the conservative movement, the Republican Party.
No, but this seems to be something. I mean, it can't be legal to go out and pass cash around.
It's not. It's not, and we've had anecdotal evidence from all across the state of people talking about stuff like that. But now, this reverend that came out a few days ago, he made direct allegations, and naturally, if that is accurate, they are criminal allegations. And that's not the only criminal allegations that have been made. There was another Democratic official that made allegations in Hinds County, where much of this crossover voting took place, and his allegations were against the Hinds County GOP chairman, and he said the chairman asked him to participate in assisting illegal or improper crossover. So this is the second illegal charge that's been levied, and if they're accurate, if they are indeed accurate, it's problematic. It's a serious offense.
So what is the state attorney general doing down in Mississippi? Because if I know about this in Florida, and if all of the Sean Hannity nation now knows about this, what is happening with the state attorney general? Are they going to open up an investigation? Like I said, with this deadline coming up on Monday for the certification of the results from that runoff, clock's ticking.
I trust they will. I think I trust the authorities will do the right thing in this circumstance. And we've got these allegations. We've got literally thousands of irregularities. And once you start seeing all the smoke, it almost feels like there is a fire out there somewhere. So I trust the authorities are looking into it, and they're doing their job. And I look forward to seeing what their investigation brings forth. And our investigation as well. We're all still looking into this. And we are not going to give up until we root out if there is any corruption. If it indeed exists, we're not going to give up until we root it out.
Well, I commend you on that. Now, what's next for you? I've seen that you're soliciting for help with your legal fund, and also it seems that you put out a $1,000 reward for evidence of voter fraud.
That's right. The integrity of our system matters. Not only the election system, but the party system. On June the 24th, over 40,000 Democrats selected the Republican nominee for the United States Senate from Mississippi. That's a problem. More importantly, the corruption that we're hearing about, the allegations that we're hearing about are also problematic. Sitting here today, we know we have ample evidence to file a challenge. But that still doesn't get to the bottom of all the corruption. So we have offered an award. And we want people to come forward if they know anything about illegal activities, because this is about the integrity of the elections process. This can't happen again. It's happened once, it appears, and if that's the case, we cannot let this happen again. So we're going to fight through it and do what we can to eliminate corruption once and for all.
Have you gotten any support from Senator Thad Cochran to join forces to make sure that this is about protecting the electoral integrity of the system there in Mississippi?
Now it appears they've taken the different tack. They've gone back to name calling and ridicule, which has been their game for the last 7.5 months.
Seems like they're using the progressive socialist tactics of the left, doesn't it?
Well, they certainly appear to be. I don't know why the name calling is necessary. I don't know why the ridicule is necessary, but that's the way they govern themselves and the way they campaign. And the people of Mississippi see that. They understand that, and they understand it's nasty and it's negative. But the reality is we believe some wrongdoing took place. We don't know exactly everywhere yet, and that's why we're investigating the way we are.
Well, I got to ask you the tough question. If none of this is decided in your favor when it comes around to the general election, will you stand and support Senator Thad Cochran for re-election?
You know, that's a really good question.
Well, I try to ask good questions.
Let me tell you. Well, let me just say this, and we're talking about a race that was extraordinarily negative. During the last 2.5 weeks, they race baited. They called me a racist. They said if I was elected that African Americans would lose the right to vote. They said if I was elected that food stamps would be cut off and funding to historical black universities. They said all of these nasty things, and they ran this the nastiest race imaginable. So what is required under those circumstances is for me to get through this next phase and then pray about it, consider it, talk with my family, and to try to do the right thing. But the people of the state have to understand that it's hard to come back after being called all of those names, and particularly the way they ran the last 2 weeks. So I'm going to pray about it. I'm going to go with my family and hang out a little bit after this first phase of the investigation is over, and then I'll make that decision later.
You know, it's interesting because everyone likes to talk about this war within the Republican Party, this circular firing squad that's going on. But when I look at organizations like a former colleague of mine has, Steve LaTourette, and some others, and the things that you have had to face there, it seems to me, for whatever reason, that the Republican Party has forgotten who enabled them to have a majority in the House of Representatives, and they have somehow forgotten the person that took them to the dance. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. Either we're a party of conservatives or we're not serving our purpose. And our party has not been serving its purpose of late. It has equivocated. It has surrendered. It has not been a party of strong, bold colors. It has not been a principled party. And that's one of the things the conservatives of this country must insist upon. And we try to insist upon it. We try to fight for our principles and our beliefs. We try to fight for the Constitution. And then things that happened in Mississippi set us back a while because we saw a 42-year incumbent resort to the most desperate tactics imaginable. He campaigned as a Democrat. He pandered to Democrats. And he was able to win that part of the election because of Democrats in a Republican primary. And for conservatives, that really outrages us because what we want is a party of principle, and we haven't seen that in a while.
Well, State Senator Chris McDaniel, thanks for calling in to the Sean Hannity Show. We wish you all the best down there, and keep us informed of what's going on.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me, sir.
Thank you.